Very good evening to you, and you're very welcome. As you can see, the players going through the pre-match parade. A lot darker here at Croke Park than it appears on your television screen. It's dry, thankfully, for the moment. It was meant to be a sunny, fine evening. It's cool enough, but still dry for the moment. The 10th time the Leinster final has gone to a replay. Here's the Laois team, the big news in their camp. The loss of Chris Conway, rushed to hospital at 8 o'clock last night to have his appendix removed. His place in the team goes to Donny Brennan, who played for the Minors last week. Ross Munnelly, very doubtful with an ankle injury. He will play. Ian Fitzgerald and Colin Byrne were left out of the team. Mick Lawler and Gary Kavanagh are now in the attack. Higgins, Fitzpatrick, MacDonald and Parkinson have different starting positions from the drawn game. The one change on the Westmeath team was an expected one. Rory O'Connell replaces Gary Dolan at midfield after making such an impact when coming on last Sunday. Desi Dolan, Derek Even and Michael Ennis all picked up injuries during the drawn match, but they've been passed fit to play. Joe Fallon was a strong contender for a place in the team, but Paddy O'Shea has decided to go with the same attack for today's replay. Well, there's the scene. The crowd still coming in here at Croke Park. There were 56,000 here for the drawn game. There may not be that here tonight as you look at Paddy O'Shea leading Westmeath again into a Leinster final. Mick O'Dwyer very relaxed before the throw-in. They had that trip to see Chris Conway in hospital. We understand he's watching tonight. We wish you well, Chris. And his clubmate Ross Munnelly is the captain for this Leinster final replay. Now there will be a minute's silence in memory of Eamon and Martin Furlong from Adamstown, who lost their lives recently in a car crash on the way to the Derry-Wexford game, and also in memory of a young footballer, Noel Quill of Shelmalier, who passed away recently. And indeed for Margaret Crowe, the sister of Brian Crowe of Cavan, who was to have been the standby referee here today. Margaret was laid to rest this morning. That minute's silence will be coming up shortly as you look at the Laois team in their huddle. And there is the newly named Delaney Cup, named after the Delaney brothers from Stradbally in County Laois. That's the prize this evening. Will it be going to Laois or to Westmeath for the very first time?
Forward to Shasagi Lemurdal. The Leinster Council would like to offer sincere condolences to the relatives and friends of Eamon and Martin Furlong of the Adamstown Club in Wexford, who died in a car accident last Saturday on their way to the Wexford Derry game in Parnell Park. We would also like to extend best wishes for a full recovery to Brendan and Edward Furlong, who were injured in the same accident. Our sincere sympathy also to the relatives and friends of Noel Quill, the 23-year-old footballer from Shelmalier's club in Wexford, who died Sunday last weekend. Finally, we sympathise with the relatives and friends of Margaret Crowe, sister of Brian Crowe of Cavan, who was to be standby referee for this game. Margaret was buried this morning. Agus an ish a chláirte a rán a bhíonn.
already see the tension on the players' faces. A very tense and exciting and a fantastic occasion it was last Sunday for the drawn game. We hope for just as good a match here this evening. Kevin McStay with me in the commentary box. Kevin, who's it going to be for you tonight?
Well, during the week I was strongly staying with Laois. The loss of Chris Conway I don't think can be underestimated, Dara. He scored 3 points from play last week. Big contribution in a low-scoring match. But another question arises, I think, in the form of Dennis Glennon now with Joe Higgins, and Joe Higgins is picking him up, as we see. 5 points from play, that's a big ask for him to repeat it. I still tend to agree with Cullum. The scoring forwards are on the Laois side, and I think Laois by a nose.
There's the referee, Mick Monaghan from Kildare. He took charge of the All-Ireland Club Finals back here on St. Patrick's Day. It's Laois and Westmeath, Pawdy against Micco. Phase 2, and we're underway. The new Laois captain, Ross Munnelly, won the toss, and he's elected to play from left to right. Against the breeze, Westmeath look for the first point, and it's Joe Higgins who's got it. Kevin Fitzpatrick last week, well, had number 15 at his back, but was around midfield. Dispossessed by Brian Morley. Rory O'Connell in from the start tonight. Rooney got a lazy sort of a hand to it. Aidan Fennelly is in trouble. Fennelly's been fouled. Pressure off the Laois defence. Darren Rooney seems to get taller and taller every week we see him. Here's Colin Parkinson bringing John Keane with him. They had a titanic battle last week. James Davitt out in front of Donny Brennan. Parkinson will take the line ball. Parkinson didn't score last week. That's been a McDonald, and that has gone wide.
Parkinson's playing much further out the field this Saturday night. He's playing on the half-forward line. Laois have a two-man full-forward line. Young Brennan is playing in with his cousin Bino. They're running across the 13-metre line, holding it on their own.
Noel Garvin got his hand to it. Here's Mick Lawler. I wonder tonight, will he last the full 70 minutes? Donny Brennan is out in front of Davitt, and Brennan has got away from Davitt, looking for the first point. Well taken. Gary Connaughton right under the crossbar. That would have been a dream start for the 17-year-old. Fergal Wilson, who scored the first point last week. To Desi Dolan. Strangely subdued at times. Dolan goes in around Fennelly. Dolan, that's just gone wide. Very close call, but certainly wide on this near side from Des Dolan.
Once again, a very nice open start by both teams. Good to see Desi Dolan on the ball early. He didn't get as much of it last week, but that one just drifted slightly to the left and wide.
Paul Conway had a very good game. That's a free. Wilson has gone forward, but he's been called back by Mick Monaghan. His 99th game in charge of a team in the championship. An unbelievable record for Mick O'Dwyer. Will make the 100 no matter what happens this evening. If they lose, they'll go in against Tyrone. If they win, they'll be in the All-Ireland quarter-final.
Good a reason as any to lift the cup this evening.
The T word wasn't mentioned in either camp a lot in the build-up. The prize, if you can call it that, for the losers. Here's Ross Munnelly. Gary Kavanagh. Now Donny Brennan again, he's out in front of his man. Delicate ball inside towards Parkinson, taken by John Keane. David O'Shaughnessy, the Westmeath captain. Glennon's gone walkabout again. Joe Higgins managed to get the hand in. Tom Kelly. Here's Munnelly, he's made up a lot of ground. Into Noel Garvin. Garvin off to Tom Kelly. Kelly looking for the first point and getting it. Laois in front of this Leinster final replay after 3.5 minutes. They said he didn't make enough runs forward in the drawn game. He got forward, a very well taken point.
Yeah, and just look where Ross Munnelly pops up in this attack, Dara. He's running his man all over the field, gets a lovely inside pass to Kelly. We know Kelly attacks very well and is quite accurate, and slips a lovely one over with the kit dog there, opening score.
O'Connell and Garvin going for it. Not finding. This is Gary Kavanagh. Torrey Clancy. In towards Donny Brennan. Again, he's got space on Davitt. Brennan really making a very good start, and he's got a free in. Ross Munnelly will take this, should be a second point for Laois, but Brennan hasn't scored but making quite an impact.
That's the third one in a row he's got now, out in front of his man James Davitt. He's causing him trouble, there's no doubt about that. He's elusive and he's running, he's taking the ball on the run, which is handy for the slight lad he is, so he's not really a standing target, but he's doing very well, Dara.
Ross Munnelly scored 2 points last week, and of course then he had to go off with that ankle injury. Had a fitness test this morning. The captain looking to double Laois's advantage, coming round the corner. He's hit that really well. 2 points to no score. Laois have settled well.
And you have to say the springing of Donny Brennan is another Mickle master move, because he's been involved in everything good about Laois so far.
Now in our Man of the Match competition, Bank of Ireland are giving you the chance to win 2 premium tickets for Sunday week's doubleheader at Croke Park, as well as overnight accommodation in a Dublin hotel. Call the number on your screen with your selection. That was Dennis Glennon, by the way, with the wide. And if your selection matches that of our panel, you could win that fantastic prize.
Bad effort by Dennis Glennon. He's a guy, you know, there's a lot of responsibility resting on his shoulders this week. 5 points from play in the final was a fantastic effort by him. But Higgins is absolutely welded to him. Everywhere he's going, he's after him. We know Higgins to be a very sticky marker.
Rory O'Connell misjudged that. Derek Heaven. Joe Higgins. Really are fired up, both teams, but Laois capitalising on their good start. That's over the head of Michael Ennis. James Davitt. Donald O'Donoghue, the fullback, he's gone roaming again. Heaven plays it over to Desi Dolan. The crossfield ball has worked, but the referee decides he picked it up off the ground.
He's got to look at this again, Dara. That's clean off the ground, does he?
Not international rules. It was so blatant. I didn't think he possibly could have done it on this stage. Here's Donald O'Donoghue. Was that a pickup? Rory O'Connell. O'Shaughnessy ahead. O'Connell trying to bring Alan Mangan in. Mangan is out in front of Paul McDonald. Has Brian Morley with him. Now it's to Morley. Ran straight into Kevin Fitzpatrick. Now there's nobody in that space. Tom Kelly will settle for the line ball. Took its time about going out.
Donald O'Donoghue is staying with Colin Parkinson everywhere he goes, so strangely enough, for once in a big match, all the players are picking up the ones we felt they would in the programme.
Surely that can't last. Here's David O'Shaughnessy to Paul Conway. Movement from Glennon. Higgins tries to get that hand in again. Line ball to Laois.
Oh, that was surely a push in the back.
Little things going Laois's way in the early stages, though.
Yeah, just a small little thing, but it hasn't fully settled as usual. The first 5 or 10 minutes is people running and racing everywhere, going 100 miles an hour.
Kavanagh, that worked out well for Noel Garvin. Now Bina McDonald just couldn't get his hand to it. He got away from Damien Healy. It's signalled as a wide.
Oh, that was a chance, because if he gets his left hand to this, he's got that ball controlled perfectly. Slipped in behind his marker. Oh, he's only inches away from that.
Clancy and O'Shaughnessy went for it. It's breaking for Laois, for Munnelly. Mick Lawler. Now Noel Garvin charging forward. O'Connell trying to pick him up. Kavanagh is inside. Garvin to Colin Parkinson. Hit hard from O'Donoghue. Release as well. Here's Lawler. Parkinson looking for it again. Donny Brennan. Lawler just telling his attackers where to go. That's a clever ball. Here's Brennan. Tackled by O'Shaughnessy. It should be a free out. There was a high challenge from Brennan on Fergal Wilson. Laois really took the time of it, building that attack, and the chance never came in the end.
Yeah, they were just hanging on to the ball a bit too much here in the right corner position. In fact, I think there was a double hop at one stage by Mick Lawler. He got away with it. They didn't develop at any speed, and they turned it over.
Paul McDonald, Glennon takes it from him. McDonald coming back at it. Laois ball. Kevin Fitzpatrick sending it in. Parkinson and Donoghue going for it. That was a have to win for James Davitt, and he did. Dennis Glennon. Darren Rooney put him off. Here's Joe Higgins. Higgins switching it. Taken by James Davitt under no real pressure. Derek Heaven. Westmeath still hoping for their first score. We're almost at the 10-minute mark. Michael Ennis taking it forward. Alan Mangan. Des Dolan telling him where he wants it. It's in towards Glennon. Higgins going to ground. Glennon losing it. Dolan challenged by Pádraig Clancy, and it's a free in. Angle tricky. It'll be Fergal Wilson who's going to cross to take it left-footed.
They need to get a score very soon. I thought Desi, he went looking for that ball. He said, "Give me the ball. We have to get something on the board." Here's the chance for Wilson though with the left foot. He should swing it in close.
Scored the first point in the drawn game. Need this to really settle them, and he's put it wide. Third wide. Well, here at Croke Park, we're 11 minutes, almost 11 minutes into the Leinster football final replay. Laois really getting off to a very fine start, taking the lead after 4 minutes when Tom Kelly put them in front, and then Ross Munnelly, who's taken over from Chris Conway, he sent over a free. 2 points to no score. Laois lead. Westmeath have had 3 wides, the latest one coming a few seconds ago from Fergal Wilson. They've yet to settle. The champions have really made the better start here, and they're looking good, but a long way to go. Laois leading Westmeath by 2 points to no score. Here comes Des Dolan, and that's wide again.
I think he has to give us a 45. There's a touch on that as he was kicking. I think he's overruled him. Yeah, he's given a 45. Just have a look at it there again. There's an earlier touch in the play, and that's what the umpire missed.
.120 in the championship for Des Dolan. This a very important kick. Whatever wind there is out there, and it's not a big breeze, is in his face at the moment. Hasn't caught it right at all. And Ross Munnelly, the captain, back helping out the full back line. And Laois full of confidence, and things working for them nicely at the moment. Aidan Fennelly, Clancy, now Tom Kelly, launching it forward. Brennan comes out for it. It's Bino McDonald. McDonald has Mick Lawler in support. Lawler going to ground. Donal O'Donoghue. O'Shaughnessy. Paul Conway. Blocked down by Noel Garvin. Falls nicely for James Davitt. Closed down by Brennan and Lawler. The Laois forwards working really hard to try and dispossess. And Westmeath back in possession. Kicked away poorly by Heaven. Straight to Darren Rooney. Joe Higgins. Gary Kavanagh sizing up the options. Bino McDonald. Healy with him. Healy making it really difficult for McDonald, but that was a great pick-up under serious pressure. Donny Brennan, again he's out in front of John Keane. Brennan releasing it to Ross Munnelly. Michael Ennis falling on top of him, and the referee has given Laois a free in.
That's very interesting. Earlier on in the play, Darren, to see Donny Brennan twice he loaded into David Shaughnessy, another big defender. He'd be wrecked if he tries to start mixing it with these fellas. Should keep at what he's doing, winning the ball out front and popping it back. Fourth ball in a row, that one into the corner for him. Westmeath want to be keeping an eye on him.
Well, it's Bino McDonald who is going to have a go at this. Paddy looking very anxious over over 14 minutes in, and they still haven't raised a white flag. And this would be such a massive boost for the Leinster champions if this were to go over. The angle so difficult. McDonald swinging it round, hasn't got it. And again, a bit like last week's match, for all the good football that Laois have played, they're still only 2 points up.
Yeah, and it's not something that particularly will panic Westmeath, because they have started very slowly for whatever reason. I just can't put my finger on it. They've just almost got a name now to be a slow starting team. It's not that they panic or anything, as you know, we were saying earlier, they just plough through it and keep at this steady pace, but they need to get a score for their own confidence.
O'Connell, Fergal Wilson hasn't started well. Same could be said for a lot of his teammates though. Rory O'Connell, Wilson taking it on, taking it straight into Joe Higgins. Rooney is there around him. Played it on the ground, it appears. Corey Clancy. Gary Kavanagh now. Dino McDonald, Healy with him. Very important take from John Keane. Ball was there and he bravely went straight down on it and won his free. Brian Morley making a move towards it, but it's Dennis Glennon who gets hands to it. Fitzpatrick fouled him. Morley taking it quickly. Desi Dolan. Dolan bringing Fennelly all over Croke Park. He's got it and got his free in. Another opportunity for Wilson, and this one really needs to go over. It's an important time with just a 2-point lead, and Westmeath, if they can convert this, would only be one back and would strike a bit of a blow.
Yeah, despite really playing well at the moment, you'd have to say the Westmeath effort isn't that cohesive. You know, they're coming in bits and pieces, but they haven't settled, I suppose, is really what I'm trying to say. They just need to score, Dara. They need to get something on the board.
Will this be it from Fergal Wilson? Oh, brilliantly fielded by Corey Clancy. Another chance goes a-begging for Westmeath. Really, from that sort of range at this level, on this stage, they have to go over. Colin Parkinson. Parkinson has Munnelly making ground. Michael Ennis behind him. Mick Lawler is inside, totally unmarked at the moment. Munnelly hasn't seen him, now he has, but the chance had gone. Lawler goes to ground, no foul, much to the despair of the Laois supporters around us here. Here's Paul Conway as the sun comes out at Croke Park. Dolan, Glennon is inside, chance for Dennis Glennon, point or goal. Good stop by Byron. In fairness, it was hit straight at the goalkeeper. That was an opportunity, might still be one for Desi Dolan. For Westmeath's first point, deflected, and Byron had time to catch it, went with the fist. Here's Brian Morley. He's picked it up off the ground, has he?
Yes, he has. I think that's what the referee is calling, and I think the referee could be correct. This is the Glennon opportunity, Dara. Did everything well, except really did put it straight at Fergal Byron. Byron did well, stood up, saved it with his legs okay. Desi Dolan does great here. And here's the pickup, I think. Absolutely. No, actually, I think I see his right boot coming into it. Tough call.
And it's gone against Westmeath. And they go further and further into this Leinster final replay without a point. A couple tacked on for Laois now would really be hard on Westmeath, but they haven't scored. They have had opportunities. Here's Gary Kavanagh of Laois. Ross Munnelly left it after him. Michael Ennis. Donald O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue straight to Kevin Fitzpatrick, but it's come to Brian Morley. Now Fergal Wilson. Darren Rooney is his marker. Free in. Dolan making a move across. Fennelly just behind. Just not happening for Westmeath at the moment. Free out. Rugby tackle by Glennon on Aidan Fennelly. Gary Kavanagh. Noel Garvin. Garvin letting it in early. Colin Parkinson. Parkinson gets away from O'Donoghue. Oh, well fielded again by Gary Connaughton. We've seen a fair few of those in the game so far. Plucked out of the sky just under the crossbar. Tonkinson, I'm sure, thought it was over.
But he's absolutely superb on the dropping ball, Gary Conlon. He's done a few last week, and again 2 already. Excellent on the high ball.
Desi Dolan, Alan Mangan available for him. Mangan closed by Paul McDonald. Desi Dolan, angle very difficult. Glennon, fisted away by Joe Higgins. Westmeath will have to settle for the line ball.
That's where you would expect Westmeath to have a handle on Joe Higgins on the height advantage. Dennis Glennon has. Didn't work out there though.
Alan Mangan. Mangan coming round the corner, hasn't caught it. Another wide. Just goes from bad to worse for Westmeath. That's wide number 4. Heading for the 20-minute mark, no score.
Yeah, and it's not that they're playing abysmally. They just haven't got it together yet. You know, there's some poor wides. There's no question about that. That's another very poor wide. But it's only 2 points to no score. It's like, I mean, that's a nothing lead really. But at least, you know, further possession, I would have expected to be a few points further on than just 2-0.
O'Connell can't get clean hands to it. Tom Kelly. Colin Parkinson. Parkinson. Gary Kavanagh couldn't hang on. Here's Brennan. Oh, he's caught that beautifully. This guy, a star in the making. Sensational in the first 7 or 8 minutes. Great point.
Completely natural there, Dara. The ball broke to him kindly, no doubt about that. But the minute he saw the opening, swung the left at it and put it over the bar. And this is, I suppose, the bit that we're least. If they can tack on a couple of points, they can go 4, 5, 6 to the good. So that's where Westmeath have to do something quickly on the board.
Punched away by Garvin. Here's Fergal Wilson. Alan Mangan has made some space for himself. Dolan looks for it inside. Here is Desi Dolan. Fennelly, his marker. Dolan deciding to go himself. It's gone wide again. Number 5.
Yeah, no question of a late tackle. McMahon, a good look at it. The Laois defensive tackling is very sharp. It's very good, and they put a lot of pressure on the kicker. Just as he's about to pull the trigger, they're in with hands. That was very good defending.
There's Donny Brennan. You got a shot of him there. Point already in this Leinster final that has made some significant contributions as well from open play. Here's Mangan. They need something from a place ball or from open play. Paul Conway is inside Mangan. Now that avenue of attack is closed down. David O'Shaughnessy, the captain. Oh dear, oh dear. They've gone 22 minutes, as you can see, in this Leinster final replay without a single point.
And the longer it goes on, then you start to feel for them, because some of the wides now are worse than the ones previous to them. You know, David O'Shaughnessy gets himself into a nice position there, and that's just a shocking effort from literally, you know, 22, 23 metres out in front of the goal. Hooks it poorly to the left. What, wide number 6? Well, terrible total.
Kicked 9 in the entire 70-odd minutes of the drawn game. On their way to that total now. Paul Conway. Conway gets his free eventually. There was a high challenge from Fitzpatrick in there first of all. And the centre forward has been hurt. Treatment on the way.
And it's just time to look around the field again, just see what in terms of positions. Parkinson is still playing centre forward, and Laois still have a 2-man. Laois have the traditional 3-man, even though Desi is playing deep.
Alan Mangan. Mangan gets turned, and there we go. The first point for Westmeath after 23 minutes of the game, and it goes to Alan Mangan. They haven't played well, but they're only 2 points behind now, the strange thing.
Well, this is the problem the Laois face when they can't open up a decent gap. Mangan now swings this one very nicely. He's got a few poor wides already, and he swings that one up for the opening score.
Garvin and O'Connell, that's gone Westmeath's way, and Noel Garvin has been hurt, and the referee calling on the physio. Here's what happened.
Yeah, he just got the swinging elbow. Everybody going for the ball, eyes on the ball everywhere. Just get the bang of, I think it's of Rory O'Connell. There it is. No big deal. But Dara, I suppose, we talk about the replay and the expectations and the expectation level coming into it from the neutrals, never mind the two counties. You'd have to say so far it just hasn't quite lived up to expectation. The standard is poor.
Joe Higgins taking that so easily, no Westmeath man around him. Garvin now fully recovered. Drills it forward and it's Brennan who's looking for it. Keane out with him. That's a free in. May have been hand on the back of Brennan. Both players ended up on the ground.
Yeah, I think John Kane will consider himself a bit unlucky. Of course, psychologically, when you put in a 17-year-old as well, Dara, the referee always tends to look after and protect him early on, certainly. And young Brennan, he's moving well, but anything that's been going, he's been getting it in terms of the decisions. That one was a tight one.
Well, he'd be delighted that they've at least got the scoreboard ticking over. Still only a 2-point game.
And look at the job, Dara, that Joe Higgins has been doing on Dennis Glennon. Compared to the last Sunday at this stage of the match, Dennis Glennon had opened up and he was causing mayhem every time he got the ball. Higgins has played him from in front, even though he's the smaller man, and he's been out to the breaking ball very early, doing a great job on him.
At this stage of the match last Sunday, the fullback who started, Colin Byrne, was gone. And a whole host of players went to try and mark Glennon, who scored 5 from play. Bino McDonald, some of the Westmeath supporters not too happy with the way he actually took that free. O'Shaughnessy, well taken. Brian Morley couldn't hang on to it. That's brilliant from Damien Healy. They need some inspiration to really get ticking over. They're only 2 points behind, but they haven't been performing to the level we know they can. Mangan takes the free. Glennon's got some space, but a long way out. Glennon goes round Rooney, and Glennon has got it. That's a really good point. Umpire slow to put up the flag, but normal service resumed for Dennis Glennon in Croke Park. They're only a point behind, and their mood will be lifting.
Absolutely, only a 1-point game, and there's no doubt, but Westmeath, they're only beginning to play in the last few minutes. I mentioned Dennis Glennon in my last breath, turns around and he opens up with a super point, lovely point on the turn, well struck, confidently struck. 3 points to 2.
Westmeath's second point. They've kicked 6 wides as well. Have had plenty of possession, but in the final third just haven't been using it at all well up until the last 3 minutes, with Mangan scoring and then Glennon. Here come Laois, Parkinson, Ross Munnelly, Colin Parkinson sizing up the options. Bino McDonald, unfortunate slip from Damien Healy. Here's Pádraig Clancy, close in at goal, had some bad wides last week. Never going to miss from there, Pádraig Clancy.
And that's the best point of the match to date, because lovely combination play. You see Bino here, he sees an opportunity, has maybe a goal on his mind for a second, pops it to Pádraig Garvin and he slips it over. But the best piece of combined play we've seen from Laois so far, ending in a very fine score.
Noel Garvin, cleanly taken. Closed down by Davitt and others, and Davitt has it. And help there from Derek Heaven. The right cornerback gets Westmeath moving forward. Glennon. Desi Dolan, he's yet to score. His 2 colleagues on the full forward line have. One of them, Mangan. Dolan again, they've been forced away from the Laois goal. And further outfield, James Davitt. Alan Mangan settles himself, lots of air on it. He's got it, you know. A point behind again. Mangan has got 2 out of Westmeath's 3.
And when it's going for you, it's going for you, because this pass was intended for Rory O'Connell. You'll see the slip there, he missed him completely, ran beautifully for Alan Mangan, and he didn't need a second opportunity, kicks a beautiful point.
Mangan now up to 6 in the championship. He was taken off last Sunday. enjoying his evening's work so far in Croke Park. Fergal Wilson of Westmeath. Foul on the way out.
Absolutely tremendous play by Damien Healy there when he got in front of that ball, and indeed he was fantastic last Sunday.
Here's Healy, he's dispossessed. There's Gary Kavanagh putting it out for the line ball. In just a one-point game, we had a feeling there wouldn't be too much between these sides. There's a long, long way to go, and indeed some people referring back to the 95 Leinster minor football final think we will have another day out after the 70 minutes here and 20 minutes of extra time. The 95 minor final between these two took 3 games to get a winner. It was Westmeath who won it. Brian Morley, they're a point behind, and Glennon, no, another wide. That's their 7th, having scored 3 points in 5 minutes. That's a waste.
Yeah, and again, you know, for a player of Dennis Glennon's ability that he showed us last Sunday to be hooking balls badly wide on your own side, that's his second one now actually from more or less the same position. They should be curled over and floated in around.
Yeah, they're going to make a change. Laois.
Ian Fitzgerald, it looks like to me.
Yeah. And Joe Higgins is struggling at the minute, the Laois fullback. In terms of scoring chances, well, 4 points to 3. Westmeath have had 15 scoring chances. Laois have had 9. And it's Mick Lawler, we understand, who's going off the Laois team to be replaced by Ian Fitzgerald. And this is what happened to Joe Higgins.
Oh yeah, that looks very dodgy for Joe Higgins. It looks like his groin. He's struggling with it a wee bit, but he's still jogging.
Ian Fitzgerald is in. Mick Lawler, indeed, there were a lot of people surprised that he was actually fit enough to start the game, but not fit enough to finish it. He doesn't look very happy at all. Did pick up an injury last week. His Leinster final replay is over. Rory O'Connell fisting it down. Torrig Clancy. Colin Parkinson. Donny Brennan again his target, and Brennan, I think that's the first time tonight John Keane has actually taken the ball off him in a straight race between the two. Paul Conway. Bina McDonald challenging him. Rory O'Connell. They're finding gaps now. Tom Kelly is backtracking all the time. O'Connell almost surrendering possession. Paul Conway. David O'Shaughnessy. Now only Mangan in there. Byron stays on his line. Mangan with half a chance. Bounce didn't favour the small corner forward. Byron stayed rooted to his line. He got away with it though. Joe Higgins over that groin injury. Noel Garvin. Better flow to the game now. Gary Kavanagh. Again, Keane is out in front of Brennan, and Brennan was fouling him on the way out.
It's Keane's superior strength now is beginning to tell. That's that the last play by Westmeath was terrible there when Rory O'Connell gave away the ball, but they had a great chance of an overlap.
Here's Damien Healy, promising for Westmeath that he's starting to get forward. He is very dangerous and very creative from these situations. Mangan is supporting it. Mangan not sure where to go. Now it's Des Dolan. Glennon is there, Dolan taking them all on, and he's got away from Clancy. Clancy just pushed him, and the referee has let that go. It appeared to be a push from Clancy on Desi Dolan. We'll look at it again in a moment, but Laois were let off the hook there, it appears. Munnelly wants it from Colin Parkinson. It's Brennan who it's played towards, and Keane did well. Keane now starting to really grind against Brennan and win the tussle between the two. No score in the match for the last 5 minutes, but Westmeath is starting to, or hoping to find their rhythm. O'Shaughnessy fouled that time by Clancy. That's really poor. Shocking pass. Tom Kelly. Joe Higgins. Brian Morley making it difficult for the centre-back. Higgins lets it off to Kevin Fitzpatrick, and look at the space for Fitzpatrick. Brian Morley's just given up the chase, yards away. Fitzpatrick towards Parkinson. O'Donoghue did really well. Bina McDonald is close to Parkinson. Now it's played to it. Again, there's nobody marking. The marking is atrocious on Fitzpatrick. Have to score. Should have scored a few seconds earlier. The Westmeath defence all over the place. Brian Morley didn't go with Kevin Fitzpatrick. They had several chances to score. Finally, they were able to make it 5-3.
Yeah, they made hard work of this, but the Westmeath defenders made it easy by three of them collapsing onto the man that had the ball, leaving Fitzpatrick wide open, and Bino picks him out quick as you like, and he has to score from there, and he does.
Well, the referee's attention has been caught by something. Well, it's just a clarification of the time, actually, as to what we're going to add on. We're the last minute of the 35. 3 extra minutes, we understand. And a 2-point game. Rory O'Connell, Brian Morley. Glennon got a hand to it. David O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy in towards Desi Dolan. He's out in front of Fennelly. Tricky angle. Off the mark with his scoring. They've scored 4 points. The full forward line have contributed the 4 of them. Mangan has got 2, Glennon 1, now Dolan finally.
And this is probably the best of the Westmeathans because it's so simple. David O'Shaughnessy gets a lovely shot in, or a lovely pass in to Desi Dolan, totally to his advantage. He just turns quickly and pops it over. He won't miss from there. Here's the previous one, I think, where we thought he was getting a push. No, that's not a push in the back, I don't know. He's got away with it.
Byron restarting. Clancy couldn't hang on to it. Paul Conway. First of 3 minutes to be added on, almost up. Now the referee hasn't given the freeze, allowed the advantage. Dolan had been fouled. Nobody around him. They're level. Laois cruising in the early stages. Dolan with 2 points in about 90 seconds.
Look at the clever reverse here, Darragh, from Alan Mangan. That's great. Brings the play with him. The 2 defenders come with him. He pops it back to Desi. Nobody on him. And he swings it over. And now, believe it or not, we're level.
7 times these sides were level last week. 5 points apiece in Croke Park, and we're almost at half-time. Brian Morley to Alan Mangan. He scored 2. Glennon is free ahead of him. Slow to give it to him, but Glennon deciding to have a go. He's had some bad wides, and that's a fantastic point from Dennis Glennon. One of the points of the game so far, and Westmeath now lead for the first time.
What a score here. Mangan is really causing a lot of power in the last few minutes. When I saw Glennon shoot from there, I said, oh no, that's a bad call. But it's swinging, and that's 2 points each now for each member of the full forward line.
Well, the full forward line contributed 9 points out of 13 6 days ago. Westmeath, it's going for them now. Brian Morley to Desi Dolan. Dolan lets it in towards Mangan. Michael Ennison making a good run forward. Here's Ennis to put them further in front, and he's got it. Westmeath really on a roll.
And it's Alan Mangan again, and Laois need the half-time whistle now so badly. They have played really poorly in the last 15 minutes. Look at the play here, simple. Michael Ennis just gets it in and pops it over, and Laois genuinely do need the half-time whistle, Darragh.
It really has turned around quite remarkably. Westmeath hadn't scored, remember, for the first 23 minutes of this game. And now they've put over 7 points. In that time, Laois have only scored 2. Clancy and Fitzpatrick, Westmeath have gone really well. The scoring chances, 20 for Westmeath, 10 for Laois. It's Westmeath who lead at half-time as they continue this quest for their first ever Leinster senior football crown. They lead Laois by 7 points to 5. Both managers, though, will have a lot to say at half-time. It was level at the break 6 days ago. Here's the situation now tonight in Croke Park. Westmeath leading Laois by 7 points to 5. Well, we're guaranteed a most interesting 35 minutes or so ahead of us in the second half of this Leinster football final replay. Teams back out. Don't appear to be any changes to either side for the second half. Will it be Ross Munnelly who gets his hands on the Delaney Cup in the not too distant future, or will it be David O'Shaughnessy of Westmeath? Paddy O'Shea has really worked wonders with this team, as has Mick O'Dwyer with Laois over the last couple of years. All the underage success they've had, in many ways this a logical progression, but who will it be to win at senior level? Will it be Laois again, getting back-to-back titles for the first time since the 30s, or will it be Westmeath for the very first time? And that's Pádraig Clancy, who's gone down injured.
Yeah, he got a knock there from David O'Shaughnessy. I think you'll see his knee coming in here, getting him not quite there, just coming in there. Just, yeah, complete accident, caught him on the back of the head with his knee as he was coming in. Free to Laois.
Kevin Fitzpatrick launching it in towards Ian Fitzgerald. Donny Brennan, the only Laois forward to score from play in this match. Bino McDonald, tempting ball in towards Fitzgerald. Very well done, James Davitt. Rory O'Connell of Westmeath. Glennon underneath it, breaks for Tom Kelly, just took it away from Morley, and again it's back with Kelly. Pádraig Clancy taking it on, and David O'Shaughnessy working hard to close him down. Brennan, I think, hit by his own man. And Westmeath, well, they've lost it in a tight situation, they get it back. Rory O'Connell, Fergal Wilson.
And young Brennan is hurt, Dara.
Brennan down and not moving at the moment. Desi Dolan for Westmeath. Fergal Wilson. Wilson with the left boot, the angle difficult. Just off with the distance. Fergal Byron out to Noel Garvin. He's got acres of space. Brennan is still receiving treatment, and the referee has decided to call a halt to things while he waits to see what's happened to Donny Brennan.
Yeah, it's a long ball, and not a very good ball. Let's see the two, no call, and Brennan takes the full brunt of Ian Fitzgerald coming behind. But a very interesting one there. The referee has called it up in full flow of the game to get attention to young Brennan, and that's of course good refereeing. But it'll be very interesting to see how he restarts the game.
Well, let's see what he does and where he does it as well.
Well, the possession was in around the left half back position. Will he give the free to Westmeath, or will he hop it?
Donny Brennan is okay.
He's going to hop it, which is the correct thing to do, Dara, but the fans of Laois, pardon me, are not happy because they had possession.
Garvin, plenty of space as well. It's Garvin going for it with O'Shaughnessy. Joe Higgins. Ross Munnelly trying to get free of Michael Ennis, manages to do it. That's a bit short for Tom Kelly. Paul Conway working so hard for Westmeath. O'Shaughnessy to O'Connell. Glennon is to his left, he's launched it forward. Desi Dolan making the move. The furthest forward for Westmeath is Alan Mangan. Will Dolan need it? Fennelly holding him up, dispossessed, nothing wrong with the challenge there. And Joe Higgins had his shirt pulled on the way out by Mangan. Here's Darren Rooney, quiet in an attacking sense of the game so far. Parkinson and O'Donoghue free into Laois. Again, I think they wanted the advantage.
Absolutely, because there's a beautiful touch by Colin Parkinson, controlled it with his left hand and turned Donald O'Donoghue perfectly, and there was no question, but he had the legs on him. You see there, lovely control with the left hand. You see he's turning, he's gone from Donoghue. Now Donoghue's out of this because the pace of Parkinson, and the referees pulled him back. Not a happy camper.
Parkinson moving back in towards the Westmeath goal. It's Ross Munnelly who is going to have a go.
This is right on his limit now, 45 metres.
Munnelly to narrow the gap and get the first point of the second half. He's dropped it short. Well taken by Connaughton. He is superb under the dropping ball in there, taking command and control of the situation. Brian Morley. Rory O'Connell. Mangan is out in front of Paul McDonald. Desi Dolan, this is a trademark score coming up. We wonder for him. He's gone inside. Fennelly been held up. It's a free in. And he's gone down. Kelly isn't aware that the whistle has been blown. Certain point coming up for Westmeath, but Dolan is lethal from that very position.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that Desi brought the play into the defender, because when he got it, he had time. With his proven accuracy, he could have curled it over, but he was, I suppose, trying to make sure, and he was also keeping in mind, if I get into a bit of trouble, I might be able to buy the old free kick. And he's got now the free and the yellow on his marker, and that's a critical one.
First yellow of this replayed final. Aidan Fennelly and that may ruin his
Just see what develops here. Oh, Desi is pulling the hand in again. Finlay puts in the hand, Desi grabs it, he's got away with it, and that's why the defenders are so annoyed. Let's see it better here on this angle.
Fergal Wilson, while you were watching that, has sent over the point. A very easy tap over for Wilson. That's his first score, first player outside of the Westmeath full forward line to register a point in this game. And now we're Laois led by 3 points in the first half. Westmeath have turned it right around, but can they get 4 in front? Nobody managed a lead bigger than 3 points in the drawn game. Darren Rooney.
Oh, it's the worst kick in Croke Park over the 2 matches.
8 out of 22 scoring chances is not a very good return, but in terms of the occasion, it's a nervy sort of occasion at Westmeath, and now starting to play the game as opposed to the occasion. Here's Fergal Wilson again. Foul by Rooney. High challenge from Rooney on Fergal Wilson. The referee on hand to make the call. Will this be a 4-point game shortly?
That's in a lovely position for Des Dolan. Likes them from this side. He tends to put a lot of air on them with a bit of curl on the right foot, and it will suit him. But as you say, nobody got into a 4-point lead the last day. This could be a crucial development from a Westmeath point of view.
Laois are going to make a couple of changes. They need Donal Miller to come in. At least one of the switches to be made. Here's Desi to make it 9 points to 5. There is a lot of air on that. The crowd behind absolutely love it, and why not? Westmeath have now got a 4-point lead over Laois. Is this the day that they will talk about forever in Westmeath? Will they finally become Leinster senior champions? That's very high, but also very accurate.
Yeah, lovely shot there of Desi's style on the reverse angle. Great score.
Gary Kavanagh has gone off, and Donal Miller is on. Player who is well used to playing at Croke Park. He's wearing 20 there. Confirmation of the change. Rory O'Connell. Next score really crucial. Paul Conway. Desi Dolan. Mangan has gone left through the centre is Glennon. Dolan's still in possession, but he held on to it too long.
Ooh, that was a big call by Mick Monaghan. He did hold on to it, but I think he was playing it. We'll just have a look here again. He solos it there. He's hopped it there. Oh, that's a tough call.
All going Westmeath's way at the minute, apart from that call. Here's Michael Ennis, now Rory O'Connell. Mangan really making it difficult for Paul McDonald. Angle tricky for Alan Mangan. Has support with Brian Morley. He's gone inside to O'Shaughnessy. His midfielder has lost him. Now inside to Brian Morley. Is there a goal here for Westmeath? He takes the point instead, and Byron will be in trouble for that challenge on Brian Morley afterwards. Absolutely needless push on the wing forward as he went through.
And Mick Monaghan's spot, it was a bit more than a push, Darry. You'll see it here on the replay. Great chance for Morley. He takes the point. I watched this as a bit of a bang, and he's going to get booked for it.
And he has been booked for it. Fergal Byron. Second Laois player to be booked. Double scores, Westmeath lead. Now Dennis Glennon, unfortunate with that, it's a Laois ball. Here's Donal Miller. Tom Kelly, the Leinster champions in trouble here in Croke Park. 5 points behind it, it's just not happening for them. Rory O'Connell. Glennon is chasing it down. Fennelly will get there first, and it's a free out. Now, in our Man of the Match competition, Bank of Ireland are giving you the chance to win 2 premium tickets for Sunday week's doubleheader at Croke Park, as well as overnight accommodation in a top Dublin hotel. 15 15 717 181. You call with your Man of the Match, and if your selection matches that of our panel, you could be in business. Will Westmeath be in business here? They lead by 5 against the reigning Leinster champions. Dolan. Now, has he got it? The crowd behind absolutely love it. And it Hasn't gone over the bar. Maybe it'll go in the back of the net from Mangan. He's fisted it over. Mangan with his third point, and perhaps the most important of all. Laois are in real trouble, even at this early stage of the second half. They're 6 back.
Yeah, because this one, well, I was going to think Inch is going to cost Westmeath again this week, but the ball breaks for Alan Mangan, and this one really makes them want to believe now, because they've got a decisive gap on the scoreboard.
1949 was the last time they appeared in a Leinster final before last week. Here's Parkinson. Laois need this very badly, and he's given it to them. That's a really good score, and such an important one. Doesn't bring a huge reaction from the Laois supporters, but this very important.
Yeah, there's no question this is important, Dara, and Colin Parkinson is very well. Holds off the challenge. Donald Donoghue on his weaker left foot still swings it over, keeps them ticking, but they need a big performance all over the field from all the players that just haven't been fired. They haven't got cracking at this particular Leinster Championship final. They have to get going soon.
They most certainly do. And Westmeath are moving quite nicely. Derek Heaven, Mangan, free in. Fouled on him by Paul McDonald. Sorry, Kevin.
Alan Mangan is absolutely causing mayhem for them.
There's another man who could do it as well. Glennon inside to Paul Conway. Conway trying to get turned. Rooney is there with him. Conway, no, wide. First wide of the second half, but really from there he will have expected to have put it over.
Yeah, and he might have passed the ball back to it, because, you know, he was under a lot of pressure. But the point I was just making just slightly before that, Alan Mangan is having a terrific match for Westmeath. He's causing the cornerbacks, whoever picks him up, whatever space he goes into, he's causing an awful lot of trouble. He's really been associated with everything good in the Westmeath performance of the last 20-25 minutes.
Well, what a difference a few days make for Paudie O'Shea and for Westmeath and for Alan Mangan, who was taken off last week, and really most people said, he said it himself, I'm sure, he didn't have his best game in a Westmeath shirt.
Well, that's the great thing, I suppose, about sport. It's the great thing about football. It's the great thing about the championship. You just never know from week to week how it swings.
Westmeath by 5 against the reigning Leinster champions. Tom Kelly, Ross Munnelly, Michael Ennis with him. Westmeath half-backs tight again. A little bit too tight that time. Laois with the free. Munnelly drilling it in to Donny Brennan. Brennan and John Keane. Donald O'Donoghue. That's a big win for the Westmeath full-back. Derek Heaven. Kevin Fitzpatrick is closest to him. Paul Conway. Alan Mangan again, he's out in front. Laois have to change that quickly. It's Paul McDonald on him at the moment. Here's Desi Dolan. McDonald is going with it. Dolan trying to get turned back in. Free out. Free against Desi Dolan.
Yeah, and that's a good call by Mick Monaghan. Desi was looking for that free. He just wasn't offering the ball back up to anybody. He was trying to go in and trying to manufacture a free for him. That is good defending here, really good defending. No foul, you can see that he's the hands out even at the end of it. Desi's looking for a handy one.
Corey Clancy doesn't like that at all. You can see why. Breaks for Derek Heaven. Michael Ennis. Misplaced. Problem for Westmeath now, if people have been talking about history, greatest day in their sporting history, if they could win this today, if the guys start thinking about where they are now, they lead by 5 points with 48 minutes played in the match, and they did stop playing towards the end of the match last week.
Yeah, they just have to crack on for home now. I mean, they'll never ever get a better position to win this, I'm sure, and they just have to keep pushing on, playing the way they are. They're on top in many of the major positions. They're doing very well. They just have to keep pushing.
Donald O'Donoghue declared fouled here by Donald Miller.
Just off camera, Dara, Beano MacDonald is beginning to struggle with that leg. We heard he was carrying him come into the match, and he was down there for the last few minutes.
Rory O'Connell launching that in. Tom Kelly picking up the loose ball. Joe Higgins. Now there's a card on the way. Is it for Desi Dolan? Will become the first Westmeath player to be booked.
That was an easy decision for Mick Monaghan. They just saw the backside of Joe Higgins in the distance. They didn't want to go too further and got a grip.
Now there's no foul here. Donald O'Donoghue to Alan Mangan. Mangan in the clear. Can he convert? Yes, he can. Alan Mangan with his 4th point of the game. They've all been from play. And again, it's double scores. And Westmeath are in position to really push on home and win this Leinster title. But a long way to go. Here come Laois. They will have opportunities. They will have a lot to say. They're the reigning Leinster champions. Kevin Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick looking to respond straight away, doing it all himself, Fitzpatrick. And that's a very good point from Kevin Fitzpatrick. It's his 2nd. Started the match in the half-backs with that sort of play. He should be up in the forwards again.
Well, we had him up there last week, of course, Tara, and they brought him back. But that's the instinct of a forward, the way he skips out of the tackles there and swings it over. Like I imagine he's really a forward by trade, but he's got two excellent points from a defensive position. Badly wanted.
Remarkable thing about Kevin Fitzpatrick, left half-back, he's the top scorer on the Laois team. They've scored only 7 points. They're 5 behind Westmeath. A couple more points now for Laois would make it very interesting. The doubts, I'm sure, which have been there in Westmeath teams before, haven't been too evident with this side this year, but they would creep back in. Desi Dolan. Dolan goes for Mangan. He's got 4, all from play. Dolan has got 3. 2 of them have been from play. The angle is very difficult for Dolan. He's put it wide. That's wide number 9. Miko having an EGM with the selectors. Declan O'Loughlin, who played in the 81 Leinster final against Offaly. Nearest the camera there, Rory O'Connell. Ian Fitzgerald out there. It's Kevin Fitzpatrick now. Torrid Clancy. David O'Shaughnessy, his marker. Clancy been hauled back. Peter MacDonald getting away from Healy. Here's an opportunity for MacDonald. Oh, just about takes it.
Oh, I thought I was going to sneak in for a second, because they're always dangerous ones, the ones you miss hit when you're going for the points. And it just sneaked. I think it actually hit the back of the stanchion. Yeah, just the back of it, creeped over.
Point from play, his first. Not often at this stage of the game you say that about Peter MacDonald. Getting his first point, but they're only 4 behind now.
And we still have 20 minutes left, more or less.
Still a long way to go in this Leinster final replay. That was too high for Brennan. Keane inadvertently gave it to him and then got it back. Paul Conway. Dolan is the target. Shoulder from Aidan Fennelly. Keeps it in play. Dolan wanted the free. Referee not interested. Noel Garvin lifts it away from Glennon. Ross Munnelly in a race with James Davitt. Donald O'Donoghue. Parkinson trying to get to it. Here come Westmeath. Derek Keevan. Keevan taking his time. He has Paul Conway inside. He's closed down by Tom Kelly. Ball perhaps should have been played to him earlier. Scrappy possession, it's a free in.
Oh, and it's a late call as well. You know, he did lead with his foot into the tackle. The ball was there, there's no question. You can see it here. Like they just are freeze, but it was a late call. He nearly let it go. An important one.
It's Donald Miller who is in trouble with the referee. Westmeath awarded their 18th free. Laois have been awarded 19. And all the hard work that went into Laois getting back to within 4. Well, that could count for a little with this free coming up. 3rd yellow card for Laois. Miller following Byron and Fennelly into the book.
God, he felt all that. Donald Miller goes off with the yellow.
David O'Shaughnessy fit to continue. Desi Dolan. Laois are bringing Martin Delaney in, and young Donny Brennan is going off. He certainly won't forget this day. 24th of July 2004, played in the minor final against Kildare, another Laois minor victory last week, and played in the senior final, scored a point. Here's Desi Dolan trying to restore a 5-point cushion. That could be dangerous. Brilliantly fielded by Tom Kelly. Ball just stuck to his hands. Donal Miller. Miller belts it forward towards Parkinson. Donal O'Donoghue. Bina MacDonald. Healy got a foot to that. MacDonald not fouled. And he's lost possession of the ball to John Keane. Keane working very hard to get out, and MacDonald had fouled him. Laois not happy with that call. They reckoned Bino was fouled in the first place. That's Martin Delaney.
Just some of the calls in the last few minutes have just been going against Laois, and this is what happens when you find yourself in a bit of a hole and you're not digging fast enough to get out of it. You think the world and his brother is against you. They just have to put their head down and try and get back into this game.
O'Connell fisting that. Here's Fergal Wilson. O'Connell again. That's not a good ball for Rory O'Connell. Straight at Paul McDonald. And now Tom Kelly to Donal Miller. Lots of space over this near side. Miller chose the wrong option. Michael Ennis taking it for Westmeath. Damien Healy. Rory O'Connell. Certainly not showing any signs of nerves at the moment, Westmeath. Leading by 4. The replay of the Leinster Senior Football Final. They've never won this title before, and they've got a free. Joe Fallon is about to come in for Westmeath.
There's where Rory O'Connell gets the ball up from Ian Fitzgerald. He'll be all right, though.
It's Fergal Wilson who's going off. His contribution to the match, well, he scored a point from a free, did quite well in open play. But Joe Fallon, who made such an impact last week, came on, scored 2 points very quickly, one of them with his right boot as well. And Westmeath, well, Cody O'Shea during the course of this championship run, and this their 5th game, well, most of the switches and the changes he's made have worked for Westmeath. They lead by 4 and they badly want to increase that. Kevin Fitzpatrick feeling the effects of this replay. That's launched in again. Kelly, 2 in a row. He's just plucked out of the sky. Noel Garvin, Donal Miller, Paul McDonald, and now Aidan Fennelly will get Laois moving forward. Martin Delaney. Now this is better play from Laois, really getting moving. Here's Darren Rooney. Very few chances in this match and opportunities for him to get forward, and Rooney surrounded, and he's lost the ball too easily to Michael Ennis. And Laois just can't afford to gift possession back to Westmeath in those situations. Here's David O'Shaughnessy. Will he be getting his hands on that cup? Dennis Glennon has scored 2 points in this game so far. Again, Tom Kelly is absolutely superb in there.
Oh, that's just brilliant by Tom Kelly. I mean, he'd no right to win that ball. That is just terrific defence. Kept his eye on the ball and absolutely knocked it. Glennon should have passed the ball, and he's over cooking at this stage. Look at Tom Kelly, gets the hand in and knocks it away.
Noel Garvin of Laois. They need a couple of scores pretty quickly just to close that gap. Donal O'Donoghue first to the break. Bina MacDonald and his marker had no idea where that was, and that's a free into Laois.
He's overcarried Dara. Referee wasn't happy that he was getting it away quick enough. He was under a lot of pressure to do it. Donoghue's having a mighty game here in the centre back line, full back line, wherever the ball is. Just about overcarries it, but under a lot of pressure.
This is a huge moment in this game for Laois and for Westmeath. They're 4 points behind the reigning Leinster champions. Has to go over from Munnelly. And he's done it, Ross Munnelly. Second point for the Laois captain. Only 3 points behind, and now I'm sure the Westmeath minds will be ticking over.
Yeah, you got to fancy that Laois are going to throw everything at them now in this final 10 or 12 minutes. So for Westmeath, the problem is, you know, they just have to get another point, another 2 points to be absolutely sure of the Leinster title. They can't just stand back and think three is going to be enough, because I'm sure Laois will tear into them.
But when they had that lead towards the end of the drawn game, they did stop playing. They weren't able to get any more scores. They need a few more scores here just to make this safe. This is our latest stoppage. Derek Keevan foul.
Well, you'll find 10 minutes to go. The Westmeath lads will break up the play any way they can. Now, Derek Keevan did get a bang, there's no question about that. I'm not suggesting he's lying down for a moment, but it is a ploy. There are 3 points to the good. The one thing you don't want is Laois now coming at you in waves, and every breaking play you can get, take it.
Well, he said last week after the match he enjoyed every single minute of it, Mick O'Dwyer. Not enjoying this as much. Thought he won't be enjoying it too much either. He'll be able to enjoy it in around 9 minutes or so if Westmeath are still in front. But an awful long way to go here. Westmeath have travelled so far in this championship campaign. Can they get over the winning line, or will Laois, and they surely will, come back at them very strongly? Torrick Clancy, they're only 3 points back.
Oh, he needs to stop play here, Dara. There's been a big collision there. Des Dolan definitely. I think it was Joe Higgins. I just can't quite pick who the other player was.
Yeah. Just have to hope they're going to be okay.
Just a little bit earlier than that in the play. They were, you know, running across at speed with their eye on the ball, and they had a big collision. Higgins took it on the leg, and Des Dolan got it. Oh, what a wallop.
Well, there's Des Dolan and Joe Higgins. I suppose a stoppage like this, well, they will hope that Desi Dolan is okay. Just have a look at it again. This is what happened. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, they're going straight for the play, and in fairness to both players, they're keeping their eye on the ball, and they're just a casualty of that, going at speed. But what's definitely going to happen now, Dara, is this is going to go up to the 73rd, 74th minute. There'll be men out on the sideline will be gasping for oxygen if this goes on too long.
Well, I think Joe Higgins, we saw the signal go in there. He may not be able to continue, Joe Higgins. Desi Dolan is back to his feet. This is what happened again. It's a really nasty challenge. Nothing malicious at all about it. Both players with their eyes on the football, going full tilt at it, and Joe Higgins really isn't moving an awful lot, and I think they're going to have to replace him. Patrick Conway is going to come in to replace the Laois fullback.
Yeah, it's terribly sad to see, you know, see any player but Joe Higgins and the effort he's put into this particular Leinster final. Seeing him lying down there on the ground, obviously badly hurt, not much movement from him. You have to feel for him on a day like this.
Well, the other strange thing about this scenario is that there's no stretcher out there, and Joe Higgins really isn't moving an awful lot. How are they going to get him off? That's Laois with their 4th substitution in this game. Mick O'Dwyer is out just checking with the Laois medical team. Pádraig O'Shea, that clock ticking down, but as Kevin correctly says, we're going to be into 73, 74 minutes before we have the full-time whistle.
And Dara, you just mentioned the stretcher situation. We had an emergency just after half-time, right opposite where Joe Higgins was. Somebody in the crowd took ill, and they did need the stretcher. And my guess is the stretcher is down in the recovery room or whatever. They are making signs for it, and should be here shortly.
Well, Joe back to his feet, but that right knee has been bandaged up, but a very sad sight. Such a fabulous defender, Joe Higgins, and his Leinster final replay is over. There's the trolley, but a little bit too late. Patrick Conway is on. We're heading into the final 5 minutes. It's Westmeath who lead by 3. Aidan Fennelly, Patrick Conway, and now Pádraig Clancy. Stoppage. It certainly didn't help Laois in terms of their team personnel, but the momentum was with them. But here they come. Martin Delaney. Westmeath crowding round them. Ross Munnelly. Munnelly's given it away to Derek Heaven. Heaven has been superb in the Westmeath half back line. That's a line ball to the Laois men. Noel Garvin the target, Rory O'Connell there. Aidan Fennelly. James Davitt taking it away for Westmeath. Look where Dennis Glennon is. Rory O'Connell will take the free. And they are just well, you can just to the left of O'Connell. You'll see a Westmeath player down injured. Nothing wrong with James Davitt. Brian Morley. Michael Ennis launching it in. Desi Dolan is the target. McDonald was turned there. Dolan manages to pick it up legally. Two around. Desi Dolan has Joe Fallon outside him. Dolan fouled it, played it on the ground.
Yeah, and again, these are two old soldiers going for this ball. There's no fouling going on here. It's good defending.
Laois have made a mess of the free out. Here's Derek Heaven to Joe Fallon. Can he put them four ahead? Fallon has hit it sweetly, but just not high enough. Byron slipping, giving the Laois supporters very nervous moments. And here they come. Aidan Fennelly. Westmeath moving closer and closer to history. Will be a bit of history for Laois too, but they really have to get moving. Ross Munnelly back inside to Martin Delaney. Delaney didn't catch that at all well. That's a bad miss from Martin Delaney. And Gary Connaughton has brilliantly found Brian Morley. Alan Mangan, shouldered by Tom Kelly.
Challenge. Yeah, perfect challenge, Dara. He squared him up and he hit him flat out. See that he's lined him up, he's watching it straight in. Nothing wrong with that. There's a big hit by Tom Kelly. In fact, Tom's hurt himself in it.
Well, we had must have been about a 2-minute stoppage for the injuries to Desi Dolan and Joe Higgins, and the way this is shaping up, this match could be heading for 80 minutes. Mick O'Dwyer just checking his watch. The normal time is almost up.
We also had Derek Heaven, if you recall, Dara, just in front of us as well. So, I mean, you're not wrong when you say we could be ticking towards 80.
That's Tom Kelly. Both teams of medics have had to work very hard. Had some incredible days as a player, some great days as a manager with Kerry. A couple of All-Ireland, 6 Munster titles. A Leinster title with Westmeath really would lift him up there in his status within the game. A chance for the pupil to beat the master. But there'll be a lot of stoppage time at the end of this game. That's a free into Westmeath. David O'Shaughnessy leaving it for Dennis Glennon or indeed Desi Dolan. They'll just take as much time as they can. And look at the goalkeeper, Gary Connaughton is going to have a crack. No, he's not. But again, all these things, it'll annoy the Laois fans, I know, but it'll all...
The referees brought it in 13 metres because of the row, and Connaughton thought he'd have a clip further out, when I'd say at 50 metres. Now it's in Desi's range, and if he gets this, you got to fancy that Westmeath are going to bring the cup home.
3 points is the lead at the moment. 4 at this late stage would really put them very close to that elusive winning line. Laois have only had 6 scoring chances in the second half, 16 in total. Can Desi Dolan? Oh no. Well, that is a crucial miss. That will give Laois quite a lift. They're now into double scores with the wides, 10. Westmeath have had 32 scoring chances. 11, now 12 in the second half. Michael Ennis for Westmeath, out in front of Ross Munnelly. We're in the last minute of normal time. The referee has already had a word with the linesman over here to tell him how much time to be added on. There'll be 6 minutes the Westmeath hearts will drop.
Well, when you've waited, what is it, 108 years or 6 minutes, I think you'll be able to wait those 6.
Is this to be their day? A dream at the start of the year when Pádraig O'Shea took over. The first target was to stay in Division 1 of the National Football League. The second was to beat Offaly. Then the expectation levels just grew and grew. They lead by 3 points in added time at the end of the Leinster final replay. Here's Bino McDonald. Is there a chance here? A chance for Laois! Oh! What a miss from Kevin Fitzpatrick!
Oh, unbelievable.
That was the drawing of the game, and he put it wide.
Oh God, Mick goes on his knees down on the side, and what an effort here. Bino, fantastic pass with the right. Oh God, that's a great chance for Fitzpatrick. Kevin Fitzpatrick just blazed it to the left and wide.
Mick O'Dwyer can't believe it, neither can we. That was a superb opportunity, but they will have another 1 or 2. So will Westmeath between now and the end of the game. Paul Conway sends it forward. Joe Fallon. They have a 3-point lead. They really need the 4th just to make it safe. Mangan is out in front of Paul McDonald. Mangan has been brilliant. 4 points. He'll do well to get this over for his 5th. Short again. Westmeath and indeed Laois, particularly in the first half, have done that so often, dropping the ball short in scoring positions. Noel Garvin of Laois, the Leinster champions, their title on a thread at the moment. Damien Healy. Free to Westmeath.
Damien Healy has been just immense. Last week, maybe we just didn't give him the credit he deserved. He had a super match. He's had another great game for Westmeath again tonight.
Gary Dolan is going to be introduced for Westmeath. They've about 4 minutes to hang on, and certainly they're taking it to Laois. They're not hanging on at all. They've a 3-point lead. They've got a free in, and this is in Joe Fallon territory. This could be the moment that puts Westmeath out of range for Laois and gives Westmeath their very first Leinster senior football crown. Fermanagh, Wicklow and Westmeath before this evening, the only 3 counties not to have won a senior provincial title. Westmeath may be about to take their name off that list. Fallon is going to take it off the ground. Fallon has hit it nicely, but it's again dropping short, taken by Donald Miller. Fitzpatrick had a great goal chance a few minutes ago, not even that long ago. They have to engineer another one to force extra time. Poor Rick Clancy. Clancy launches it forward, another high ball that Mick O'Dwyer really doesn't like, and Connaughton happy to see it go wide. They did this towards the end of the game last week as well, just pumping high balls in towards Bino and the likes, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, Mick promised a few of them a tanning, I think I read on Monday, and he'll be talking to them again. That's an awful waste of a ball when, you know, the minutes are ticking down. They've got to get that ball in top of Bino, see what might break off him. Can they manufacture another goal chance?
Mick O'Dwyer in his time with Kerry and indeed with Kildare never did well against teams wearing maroon. Galway for the side he was talking about, but the maroon of Westmeath about to beat the blue and white of Laois, unless Laois can do something pretty sensational. 2.5 minutes to go. This, for well over 100 years, has been a dream for Westmeath. It's about to become reality, unless Darren Rooney finds Noel Garvin. Lots of twists and turns in this match and in the fixture between the two in the drawn game. Is there to be one more? Laois need a goal. Darren Rooney inside to Noel Garvin. O'Connell pulls him back. They've got a free in, and Garvin has kicked it away. The referee, though, will want the free taken again. The Westmeath players were never back far enough. Under 2 minutes to go. Yeah,
and he was blocked as he attempted to take the free. He's going to take this one on the 13-metre now. Oh, there'll be the whole county of Westmeath will be in the goal for this one, Dara. But they have to go for a goal chance, I feel. They have to go for the goal.
Gary Dolan is coming in for Paul Conway. Receives the last-minute instructions. Dolan left out of the starting 15 tonight. And what will Ross Munnelly do?
Well, he can't charge this ball, that's for sure.
And Munnelly has decided to take the point. That's his 3rd. Well, a goal would win it for them. At this late stage, only 2 points behind The Leinster champions have just over a minute to respond. This would be his finest hour.
It's hard to see how Laois can conjure up 2 points in a single minute of play, because Westmeath won't be rushing.
Under a minute to go at Croke Park. Are we about to see something truly historic? Rory O'Connell fouled on the way, and there's a card coming, I think. It's Noel Garvin who has received a yellow card, and all this now just falling perfectly for Westmeath, and Gary Connaughton will try and do a Shane Curran on it with a point.
Well, he'll want to, I would say, kill this ball at a minimum. He has a big drive, he won't be far off it.
Hits these well. Connaughton effectively to win the Leinster title for Westmeath, but he's put it wide. Maybe it won't matter at this late stage. 11 wides for Westmeath. Just seconds to go. Westmeath want to make another change, and there will be more time because they're bringing Dennis Glennon off and they're bringing Shane Colleary on. Paddy O'Shea appears to just say a quiet prayer to himself. The 6 minutes have now been played. How much more will the referee allow? Laois need a goal, and it would be the goal that would win the Leinster title for them, help them retain it. Westmeath are just seconds away from their very first ever, and that has to be it. Aidan Fennelly kicking the ball away. It has to be over.
Yeah, you'd fancy he's going to blow it up on this play. I saw him looking at his watch. He said, I'll give Laois one more play. It has to be up very shortly.
Down here in front of us, the Westmeath supporters are coming onto the park. It's over for the very first time. Westmeath are Leinster senior football champions. They have made history. Paddy O'Shea has led them to the promised land, and this is an unbelievable night for Westmeath football, for the county of Westmeath and for Paddy O'Shea. What scenes here at Croke Park? It's like the end of the All-Ireland final. Maybe they'll win that too later in the year, but all they're thinking about now is the Delaney Cup. They have won it for the very first time. These scenes truly remarkable. It ends in despair for Laois. The Leinster champions are no more in Leinster, but they now have to play Tyrone next weekend in the qualifiers. But tonight belongs to that man and the 18 or so players he used, the panel of 30, his selectors, and all the people who have contributed to an historic achievement. Westmeath have beaten Laois by 12 points to 10. They are about to be presented with the Delaney Cup. They are Leinster champions for the very first time. Paddy O'Shea trying to beat his way through the crowd. I think there are tears in his eyes. They'll name a square after him in Mullingar. Paddy Plaza, how does that sound? He's got away from the ecstatic Westmeath supporters. They saw Laois win it last year. They've seen Offaly win Leinsters and All-Irelands, neighbouring counties. But Paddy O'Shea has brought them to victory.
Well, it's just a fantastic occasion for them, and just
to those who are watching at home and to those overseas, on behalf of Leinster Council and Bank of Ireland, and Colin Buchan from Bank of Ireland, I welcome you to Croke Park. I want to say commiserate with Laois, a wonderful game you played, but today belongs to ERV, and I want to congratulate you on your first Leinster championship. Cofarnicus Doretor Michal Manan agus the Dean Ella via Carlo. Marshin is more than under Dumpsa and Cardinal Runner, Captain ERV, and Cardinal Delania, Don Cade Urawan, Don David O'Shock to see Captain ERV.
Started done on Fern Show. August Winter Irving.